Hey y'all, welcome to Nails in the Coffin. My name's Leanne, and this is where I paint nails and talk true crime, ghost stories, and urban legends. I'm back. I don't know how many people noticed, but I had to take a break for a while because 2020 was rough. I'm feeling for everybody out there, but it's 2021, it's a new year. I'm like ready. I got plans, things in the works, and here every week. So, subscribe if you want or not. That's fine too. Whatever. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be painting some tortoiseshell nails, which I wasn't really a big fan of for the longest time, but then I painted these myself and I was like, okay, I'm convinced. I convinced myself. That's how good I am. So I'm doing a tortoiseshell with like a gold leaf overlay. In the description, I will cite all of my sources for the story I'm talking about tonight, as well as all of the products that I'm using in case you want to do this for yourself at home. What better time to learn how to do nails than in the middle of a pandemic, all right? Okay, so tonight I'm going to be talking about the Ourang Medan, which is a maritime urban legend, I suppose. And so I'm just going to say up front, none of this is fact. Again, I'm going to cite my sources. All of the sources, when you look up the Ourang Medan, is super wishy-washy. So bear with me here. So Ourang Medan is Indonesian or Malay for man from Medan. Medan is the largest city on the Indonesian island of Sumatra. So in 1947 or 1948, see, told you, wishy-washy, in the Strait of Malacca, two vessels, the Silver Star, being one vessel, and City of Baltimore, being the second vessel, picked up a distress call. Now, the call that was received was an SOS from ship Ourang Medan, and it said, "All ships with shortwave radio, please relay our urgent request for medical aid." Now, this is weird because an SOS and a medical request in the same call is a little unsettling, because an SOS is like, hey, our entire ship is completely fucked and we need help. But then if your entire ship is fucked, why would you need medical aid? At least that's what it said in one of the snippet books I read. And it just was those things are not paired together. It's either SOS or we need medical aid. If there's not a doctor on ship and somebody's leg is broken, they'll call for medical aid. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't be a save our souls type situation, right? It's just a save this dude's leg. So these vessels get this call, and the Ourang Medan did not immediately give their position. So the Silver Star is like, hey, what the hell's going on? We need your position so we can get to you. And also, what's the sitch? This is kind of weird. And so the Ourang Medan replied, stating their position, and what they said was, "We drift. Stop. Second officer dead on bridge. Stop. Captain and chief engineer dead in chart room. Stop. Probably whole crew dead. Stop. Part of crew," and then it just drops off into static mixed with more. This is all through telegraph. So it's in Morse code, jumbled, not making any sense. And in the book I read, it said as if somebody was, whoever was sending out this signal was struggling and just randomly punching Morse keys. Please help me, but I'm also doing this with one hand while fighting off a pirate for all they know, who knows? So finally, the transmission ends with, "I die." That's it. That's the send-off. And then it just is static after that. So the Silver Star is freaking out. They're closer than City of Baltimore. So Silver Star's this is our new mission. We're going to race towards the Ourang Medan. And that's exactly what they do. So the entire crew is basically hoping that they find survivors. They're bracing for pirates, maybe, or maybe there's like some sort of mutiny going on. They have no idea what the fuck is going on. They're just like, these people need help. So the next morning, they come upon the Ourang Medan. It's maybe 40 years old. It's 5,000 tons. Said it was a single stack streamline ship. I don't know what that means. Obviously, I'm not a sailor, so. But it looked to be undamaged, and it was missing one lifeboat. And like from afar, they were looking at the ship, and they're like, oh, people aren't walking around. Nobody was like waving like a flag, you know, being like, here, come help us on this deck or whatever. It was just quiet, still, seemingly abandoned. And they were like kind of weirded out because they were like, well, the whole crew on this huge ship can't fit in one lifeboat. Like, that's weird. So the crew from the Silver Star board the Ourang Medan. They get on the deck. The deck is littered with corpses. I mean, littered. Now, what they said was that what was weird about it, besides it being littered with corpses, but that the corpses, their like faces were contorted. Now, I want you to think about the ring. You know the ring when she opens up the closet? Is it the ring or the grudge? I think it's the ring, but you'll know what I'm talking about. She opens up the closet and she sees that chick's face in the closet after 7 days. Yeah, it's the ring. After 7 days, and her like mouth is all like, and she's all like, you know, in middle school that haunted your dreams. It haunted mine. That's what I imagine it to be. Or it could be a lot like this. So basically everybody's faces was like frozen in this like contorted kind of way. Their mouths were gaping open. Their eyes were like all open, staring upward at the sky. And it said a lot of them had their arms raised to the sky as if they were like trying to point at something in the sky. It all has to do with the sky. There was no signs of like struggle, no signs of like any fights that had broken out. So it wasn't like everybody killed each other, you know. And there was no immediate injuries. It didn't look like, oh, there's like blood everywhere and like we can forensically kind of piece this together. It was as if the entire crew just like froze and died, almost. So while investigating further, a fire broke out on the ship and it spread really rapidly. And the ship sank, taking the entire frozen crew with it. So that's weird. So it said in some of the articles, it said that the ship was smuggling illegal like warfare chemicals, like nerve gas or nitroglycerin, and that maybe it was like leaking and that killed the crew. Also, there's speculations about aliens, y'all. We know about aliens, you know? I'm a big believer of aliens. I'm not taking that off the table. I don't think it's likely. But I mean, it could be true. It could be true. I just think if it was aliens, like, why just leave all of them there, you know? So that's the story of the Ourang Medan. I'd really like to know what you all think about it. I'd never heard about this before. I'm sure there's an X-Files out there. I mean, you know what? Right when I'm done with this, I'm going to go try and find an X-Files on it. And see what I can, I should have done that before this episode, but, you know, we live and we learn. Speaking of learning, what did we learn about this story? We learned, let's see, to avoid the open sea at all costs. If your dad is ever like, hey, let's go deep sea fishing, you say, that's going to be a fuck no for me, am I right? And chemicals. Avoid all the chemicals. Wear a mask, people. There's people out there not wearing masks. I didn't mean to take that in that direction, but it's true, you know? Avoid chemicals. Yeah, so I'd love to hear what you think about this theory, and if anything, hopefully it inspires you to go watch the X-Files. Did I say Forensic Files? I meant X-Files. Oh man, I have not done this in a long time. Yeah, I still have a little bit of time left, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the process. So basically, I just laid down the peach Bellini and just did a super thin coat. The thumbnail on this one, I kind of cluttered with the spots. My suggestion is to go bigger spots, so there's not, if you have like a lot of littler spots, it kind of almost looks like cheetah print then, which I mean is fine in its own right, but that's not what we're going for here. And then I just kind of, with the tackiness, before I put on my top layer, I, just kind of deep, a little bit of the gold foil, and kind of just let it fall where it may, just kind of improvised it. It's a super easy process. Again, go to Daily Charms Instagram page. They do tutorials on there. If you're here for a nail tutorial, I'm sorry, but you're in the wrong spot, okay? I mean, it's kind of, yeah, I do this just because I like to, and I don't even know that it really makes sense, but I love it. Anyways, if you did like this, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, tell your friends about it, because I'd love to get some more time on here so I can really go into the grizzly stuff, just talk and talk and talk. I could do it with myself for a long time. Also, feel free to follow me on all the social medias, on Instagram, TikTok. Ooh-wee, those look so good. I love them. Okay, see y'all next week. Okay, bye.